The news at 5:30 starts right now.
The somber sounds of respect, honoring the lives of 19 students and 2 teachers killed in Uvalde Tuesday.
They were nice kids. They were fun to play with, always smiling.
President Joe Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden visiting Uvalde to pay their respects as a community grieves.
And to see those little faces on those crosses, it's not right. This should not have been something that happened.
As memorials grow, so does the crowd of visitors hoping to heal.
I feel heartbroken for all the kids and all the parents because they're not going to be able to see their child no more.
Everyone trying to help in their own way.
That's what the choir's been doing. They've been singing songs of comfort for this community.
Today's visit from the White House is not over yet. Our coverage continues right now on the news at 5:30.
Everything that's happening here, all the support, all the love, it's something that was needed.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We continue now with our coverage of the president's visit to Uvalde today. We have team coverage tonight. We start with our Steve Spriester, who is live there in the town square in Uvalde.
Yeah, that's where the memorial has been set up for the victims of the shooting. Steve, you've been there all day. We saw earlier today a massive outpouring of people arriving to pay their respects there. The crowd seems to be growing. What's the mood like there now?
Absolutely, Courtney and Tim. The crowd has been growing as the day has continued on. A lot of people echoing the same things. They just felt like they needed to be here. I want to show you a T-shirt that was just handed to me moments ago. Know their faces, remember their names. A lady in San Antonio actually made this, and it has the teachers in front, and then each of the students, each of those 19 students that are depicted on this T-shirt. And the lady from San Antonio said she came here because she wanted to give these out to family members. But I thought that summed up exactly what a lot of people are echoing here. When you see the faces of the students, the young, innocent lives lost, it can't help but affect you. And today, there were certain things where words didn't describe, including when a choir showed up here right after they left their church service. Take a listen and some of the scenes from that. There are messages at this makeshift memorial from as far away as New York City. Columbine, you're seeing Bay City, Lig City, Weslaco, and of course, almost every community in South Texas showing up to show their support for Uvalde, to show their support for Uvalde Strong. I was struck today, though, by an interview that we did with 2 particular people. One, a mother, one, a young student with a sign that simply said, "I want to be a dentist. Don't kill me." An 11-year-old with that message. Listen.
It's hard to think that in a couple of years I have to send her and know that you don't know what's going to happen. And I know it's scary for the parents. It's not right. This should not have been something that happened.
If we want to heal, we need some new rules, because if we don't change nothing, it's going to be the same and it's going to happen again and again.
And that is what you notice as you stand here, as I have through most of the day. You notice a couple things. You notice that it is very quiet, and maybe at the edge of Town Square Park, people are talking, people are visiting. But as you get closer and closer to these crosses that are behind me, and you see the messages that are written on them, it is quiet. You hear some prayers, you hear some contemplation, you hear some meditation, but there is a quietness that has kind of overtaken this park, which is for many people sacred ground. And I think you also notice the very young people that are here, the 8, 9, 10-year-olds. 11-year-old was the young girl who said we need to change our rules, that have shown up here because it has perhaps affected them as much as it has affected anybody. Seeing people that were their ages, people that some of them knew very well, that are no longer with us. Again, the president's visit also a big part of today. He did not visit this makeshift memorial, but he did visit the memorial at Robb Elementary, the scene of the shooting on Tuesday. That's where Lee Waldman joins us live.
Steve, we're just feet away from Robb Elementary School, the site of that tragic shooting that happened on Tuesday. But beside me here, a long line of people wanting to lay flowers as a tribute to all of those lives that were so tragically taken that day. Earlier on in the day today, we were outside of Sacred Heart Catholic Church, where a crowd was waiting for the president and the first lady. Let's go ahead and take a look at some video of them entering inside of that church. You can see that parking lot also completely full. One man I talked to in the area said this is one of the main churches. Every Sunday it's filled with people. Cameras weren't allowed inside of that church, but we have notes from reporters inside. They said once the service started, one of the leaders began by saying, quote, "In the midst of collapse and devastation, we have come once more to our house to pray and to be together," unquote. That devastation felt outside. A grandmother and granddaughter I spoke with described how these last 5 days have been.
We're very sad. It's so devastating. And we're angry at the same time. But the whole community is so sad. And we can't even sleep.
I've been sad because my brother was in elementary school, but my brother didn't get shot because he made it out of the window.
Violet, that 7-year-old girl you can see in the video, she's holding her stuffed animal she named Sweetie. She got Sweetie yesterday. She tells me she was terrified the shooter would come to her school next. She had no idea what was going to be happening. Her grandmother says she's thankful that the president was here, but says her community, they need those prayers to continue long past today, long past this week, and on to the many months that are ahead. Now, tonight on the Night Beat, we're going to be wrapping up the president's visit today and speaking with people along the way. Live from Robb Elementary, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Lee and Steve. Everyone in Uvalde today has their minds on the survivors and victims' families, like Brianna Ruiz and her 9-year-old son, Daniel Garza.
Daniel was in the school during the shooting, saying he saw the gunman through the window and watched his teacher lock the door, then play dead on the floor while coaching students to remain quiet. One of the victims was Daniel's cousin and Brianna's niece.
The same child that I dropped off that morning, I feel like a piece of him stayed there. Because when I did get him back, he wasn't the same anymore. And I know it's going to take time and it's going to be a long road of recovery.
Another painful piece of this, Brianna said she once taught the shooter who claimed all of these innocent lives.
Stories like that one, many very similar to what the president has been hearing all day today in Uvalde. His day-long trip through the town now winding down.
About an hour ago, he met with first responders there in Uvalde. Our Alicia Barrera is live outside of Gardner Field, where the president is set to take off in the next few minutes. Alicia, we know it's so hot out there. Are there people waiting outside for him?
Absolutely, and they've been waiting here for already a couple of hours, lining up their car, knowing that space is limited. Of course, this area very restricted by Secret Service and police officers that have traveled across the state to here to Uvalde. So they're definitely, we're standing. I want to show you exactly where the president is right now. So he's to my left, and we're going to pan over there. That's one of the hangars where he's meeting with first responders. And so people have lined up to the edge where we're at. And they extend all the way down, which is this whole Garner Field Airport area. A lot of them right now, after that motorcade made it from the helicopter area to where they are inside now at the hangar, they went to go cool off in their cars. You can understand that. So it is pretty hot. It is really windy because of those helicopters. But, one thing that I want to speak on is we made it out to the town square earlier today, and it's somber, it's sad. You see people crying, hugging, embracing one another. But here, this was the first moment of kind of excitement, if you will, that we witnessed. There were a group of about 3-4 siblings, and the moment they saw that motorcade make its way across the hangar here, they jumped up. They were so excited. Some had their iPads, others their cell phones. And I asked them, what they feel knowing that the president is here in their town. And, they just just kind of smile and nod. When really in the town square, you see the complete opposite, to where they're just holding on to mom and dad's leg, just nervous of what may happen to them. But here, again, the mood is a little different. Right now, we know that the President Joe Biden is meeting with first responders inside that hangar that is private. We were hoping to get some access to see how that is happening, but again, that's being done in private. So we'll wait around here. We know that he'll be taking off just behind where we're standing. You can see those helicopters over there in that area. So again, he should be departing any moment. It looks like they are on schedule to make it back to San Antonio later this evening. In Uvalde, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Alicia. And here is a look at Kelly Field live here in San Antonio. Once the President and First Lady board Air for Marine One, they will take that back here to Kelly Field, where they will hop on Air Force One. The President's set to leave the city within the next hour or so. We have a crew there, and we will bring that to you live when it happens. Meanwhile, the Justice Department says they will review the police response to the school shooting in Uvalde that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead.
Today, a DOJ spokesman announced it will conduct a critical incident review at the request of Uvalde's mayor, Don McLaughlin. Texas officials and law enforcement have been under intense scrutiny for the way officers responded to the shooting.
Some parents say a quicker response could have saved children's lives. The Justice Department says the assessment will be fair, transparent, and independent. It also plans to publish its findings once that review is finished.
Coming up on the news at 5:30, a San Antonio corrections officer out of a job tonight. Still ahead, details on what landed him on the opposite side of jail walls.
Plus, investigators busy with multiple weekend shootings, including one involving a San Antonio police officer. The latest details right after this break.
New at 5, a probation corrections officer is behind bars for attempting to smuggle drugs into the Bexar County Jail. According to the sheriff's office, an inmate was caught speaking in code on a phone call, leading deputies to discover an operation to smuggle drugs into the jail. An investigation revealed 21-year-old Colby A. Counts Ramirez was arrested for alleged involvement after being caught with marijuana and synthetic cannabis in his vehicle outside the jail. He has now been charged with criminal conspiracy to commit substances in a correction facility, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of marijuana. At this time, investigators say Ramirez is still under questioning as they try to find out what other people were involved.
Lots of questions tonight after a man was shot and killed overnight. It all happened just before 4 o'clock this morning on Eisenhower Road near Austin Highway. That's over on the northeast side of town. Police tell us there was a disturbance in a parking lot there. Shots were fired and a man was hit twice. He died at the scene. Right now, investigators do not have much to go on, but they believe the suspect who shot him is a man.
And another shooting overnight. This one happened at 245 near Goliad Road and Fair Avenue on the south side. According to Police Chief William McManus, a man was reportedly waving a gun in the air. Officers set up a perimeter and tried to make contact with the suspect. That's when we're told the suspect pointed his weapon toward the police and an officer shot the suspect. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. That officer on administrative leave as the investigation unfolds.
Feeling like summer and the unofficial start to summer. We got up to 99 degrees for the high temperature, and there you can see live cam is shaking because it is very windy outside, gusts of up to 35 miles per hour. We're going to continue to see the wind into tomorrow, Memorial Day. The aquifer is up 0.4 of a foot over the past 24 hours. As for the pollen count, 4 allergens out there. Molds are moderate today, grass pine, pigweed, all low. A lot of people going to be trying to stay cool on the Comal and Guadalupe tomorrow. Here's your floating forecast, 97 for the high temperature. Again, windy with gusts up to 35 miles per hour, very high UV index. Make sure to protect that skin. Skin damage time within less than 20 minutes. I'll be back with a look at the tropics and, of course, what you can expect in the week ahead. Welcome back. What a hot day out there. Take a look outside right now. It's 98 degrees. Winds, though, are the big story at the moment. From the southeast, sustained at 25 miles per hour, but gusting up to 36 miles per hour. It is going to continue to be windy tonight and into tomorrow, Memorial Day. Here's a look at your temperatures out there right now. Hotter out to the west, just hot everywhere, though. 102 Eagle Pass, 101 in Del Rio, 99 in Hondo, 95 Kerrville, 96 in New Braunfels. A closer metro view. Are you all right out there, Castroville? It's 99 degrees. 96 in New Braunfels, 94 in Seguin, 91 in Bernie, and 95 up in Comfort. But again, the winds are the big story out there right now. Wind gusts anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour. And take a look. Wind gusts tomorrow for Memorial Day going to be right around the same, anywhere from 25 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts from the southeast. Now, that's going to feel okay in the shade, right? That's going to help cool you down, but it could be a bit of a nuisance if you have any outdoor plans, backyard barbecues, grilling, those kinds of things. Stuff could be flying tomorrow because of those wind gusts. Here's a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast for Memorial Day. We're going to start off with clouds in the morning, and those clouds are going to be a bit more stubborn than the last few mornings. We'll be looking at skies clearing, though, by 10 o'clock and through about lunch. We'll be looking at mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will climb into the 90s in the afternoon, and as for the high, just shaving off a couple of degrees from today. Still hot though, 97 degrees, mostly sunny and windy tomorrow for Memorial Day. All in all, feeling a lot like summer. If you have outdoor plans, you're going to need the shades, the sunscreen, everything to keep yourself cool because it's going to be hot. Now, unfortunately, you don't need me to tell you this, but we have a pretty bad drought out there, extreme and exceptional drought across south central Texas. And this time of year, into May, early June, it's typically one of the rainiest times of the year for us. But unfortunately, we just don't have a good chance for rain over the next 7 days. Now, also this time of year, we typically have to rely on tropical systems to bring us any rain. There is a hurricane out in the Pacific, Hurricane Agatha, a Category 2 hurricane, expected to make landfall along the Oaxacan coast as a Category 3 hurricane. The energy from this system may end up reforming in the Gulf of Mexico, only a 30% chance, but either way, because there's a ridge of high pressure in place over Texas, that's going to keep out any rain for the Texas coast and south central Texas. So unfortunately, during one of the rainiest times of the year, we are bone dry. Again, tomorrow, morning clouds, afternoon sun, 97 for the high on Memorial Day. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, highs will be in the mid to upper 90s. We'll be back after this.
For the Conference USA Tournament champions, Louisiana Tech.
Apparently we're having some difficulty with Larry's microphone. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We want to get you back to Uvalde. The President of the United States, First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, are now there at Garner Field, where they are leaving the motorcade and getting onto those helicopters, Marine One, which will take them back here to Kelly Field in San Antonio, and that's where they will hop back onto Air Force One and fly back to Delaware tonight. So that's the scene there in Uvalde right now. He has spent the better part of the day there meeting with families. One of his last things that he did there was to meet with first responders there, we believe in a hangar, before hopping onto Marine One.
Yeah, we've been covering this all morning and all afternoon and now into the evening, and it's been a long day for them. You know, they met privately with those first responders. So that's why you didn't see any shots inside that hangar. They also met privately with the families, but you know, we were following that motorcade through Uvalde. It's a very small town in there, so a lot of people lined up across the streets and were able to wave to the president and first lady. And he attended that mass at Sacred Heart Catholic Church. And now here he is ending his trip in Uvalde.
One of the most difficult jobs for a president is to be the mourner in chief. Joe Biden has done it quite a bit as vice president and now as president today, all day doing this. So as we continue to watch these pictures, I want to kind of set the scene for you. We are going to come back at the end of this show and continue our coverage with Steve and Alicia and Lee and just kind of wrap up the day's events.
Right, so we're going to take a quick break, but come back and stay with us for the rest of this coverage.
I'm Steve Spriester. Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the aftermath and what happened in Robb Elementary on Tuesday. We are live from Town Square Park in the heart of Uvalde. It has been a gathering place for the last several days, but especially today. We have had a number of people who have come here just feeling compelled to be part of what is happening. We saw the mayor here. We have seen Congress people here, and we are now joined by State Senator Roland Gutierrez. Uvalde is part of your district.
That's right.
You have been very vocal, telling the governor during a news conference the other day, we need to be called back for a special session. Before you talk about that, talk about the personal aspect of this, because I have seen you talking to a lot of people. I've seen you walk around and look at the different crosses and the faces that are on there. Talk about how this has been for you.
Well, Steve, I've been here since Tuesday morning and night. I get here very early. It's 90 minutes from my house. I leave midnight and get home at 1:30. Every day's kind of been the same, and it feels like every day is the same. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to visit all the families I can, make sure that they know that we're here for them, the state of Texas is here for them, they have adequate resources, and that we're going to find additional resources so that they can go on with their lives. We can never ever bring back these children to them, but we've got to find something that makes them feel like at least that they know they're loved.
Talk about the fact that you are opening up an office in Uvalde starting tomorrow.
We have, I'm moving my Eagle Pass office for the next couple of years. I made that decision last night, and I'm moving it over here to Uvalde. This is now going to be, for the rest of my political career, the issue that I work on, because I don't want any one of my colleagues to ever go through what I've been going through. My emotions have been up and down, but it's nothing compared to what these families have been going through. They're on the roller coaster ride that none of us could ever want.
Do you think we're going to see a special session? Do you think there's momentum for a special session?
I've demanded it. The Senate Democratic Caucus has demanded it. We're going to continue to keep demanding it with the governor. And listen, we've got 80 plus days until we go back to school. Every day we're going to be talking about a special session. He has to do something. Republican constituents call me and they tell me, hey, we need to raise the age limit. How is it that an 18-year-old can get a gun down the street, 1,800 rounds of ammunition, buy another gun the next day, and nobody bats an eyelash? If that isn't a red flag, I don't know what is. It is high time for common sense gun solutions. We can do it. I've sat down with many Republican constituents. It's time that Greg Abbott tells the NRA to get the hell out of here. Let us make decent solutions here for Texans.
Let's put politics aside, personal level. I think correct me if I'm wrong, the first funeral is tomorrow. You have talked to these family members. You have talked to people that are hurting. What are they telling you, and what are you telling them?
Steve, they're just destroyed. You can only tell them that you're going to be here for them, that they have a new friend, and they have someone that's not going away. That's what the president told me today. He said, I'm not going away. He says, I'm going to bring you resources. We're going to look to raise that school, build a new one. We're going to look to getting real money for mental health care. This is a community that is going to need therapy. There's one psychiatrist in Uvalde, very few mental health therapists. We're going to change that. It is a must. I've asked Abbott to give us $2 million to fund a community health clinic. He has yet to do it. We're going to keep pushing him on that. It's personal, but it's also the fact that we have to make sure that we hold these people accountable. I'll tell you what many have told me. Don't let my child's death be in vain. Make sure that they do something. And so I'm going to talk about this until Greg Abbott and my Republican colleagues do something.
I want to make sure I heard you correctly. You got a pledge from the president today that they will